Today, we're going to dive deep. We're stepping into one of the internet's most compelling and honestly, one of its most unsettling mysteries. I'm talking about the Cicada 3301 Enigma. This is a story that kicks off with just a simple message, and it ends in absolute deafening silence. So, picture this. It's January 2012. You're online, and this pops up. Hello, we are looking for highly intelligent individuals. That's it. No sender, zero context. Just a black screen with these words. This was the start of an incredibly intricate global scavenger hunt. It pulled in the world's best code breakers. And you know what? To this day, we still don't have all the answers. And here it is. This is the absolute core of the mystery. The few who actually solved it, they disappeared. I mean, think about it. Thousands of people saw this thing. Hundreds gave it a shot, but only a tiny handful actually succeeded. And then, poof, they went completely silent, every single one of them. We haven't heard a peep from them since. So to even begin to understand what happened to these people, we've got to go back. We need to really understand what Cicada 3301 was. So let's start right at the beginning with that first cryptic message that came out of nowhere. Okay, and right off the bat, here's something most people get wrong about Cicada 3301. We call it a puzzle, right? But that's not really what it was. It wasn't built for fun or for entertainment. No, this was a filter. A highly sophisticated, expertly engineered filter designed to find a very specific kind of person, a very specific type of mind. So the first challenge was this ladder of escalating tests. It started with a hidden message inside an image. That's a technique called steganography, where you're basically hiding data inside another file. Super clever. Solving that led you to a classic Caesar cipher. Cracking that gave you a phone number. And that phone number, it pointed to an encrypted book code. See the pattern? Every solution wasn't an answer. It was just a ticket to a much, much harder question. And this pulled in the heavy hitters. We're talking top cryptographers, military intelligence vets, elite hackers from all around the globe. And then, just as fast as it began, it was over. For the winners, at least. The tiny few who made it all the way to the end got this one last, simple message. You have found us. And that's it. That was the last anyone heard. They just vanished into the silence. And the rest of us were left with no idea what happened next. But listen, this was not just a one-off thing. Oh no, this was only the beginning. The mystery was about to break out of the digital world and go completely global. So Cicada 3031 came back. It ran again in 2013, and then a third time in 2014. And each time, the difficulty was just ratcheted up exponentially. The second puzzle, it brought in ancient runes. But the third one, wow. The third one required you to simultaneously understand Maya numerology, the Kabbalah, and advanced number theory. I mean, who knows all that? And like I said, it wasn't just an online thing anymore. The challenge literally broke into the real world. Suddenly, physical clues, QR codes printed on paper, started appearing on telephone poles. In how many cities? 14. 14 different cities all across the globe. And just look at these locations. The places themselves tell you a story. We're talking Warsaw, Seoul, Sydney, Moscow, Okinawa, Japan, even Little Rock, Arkansas. This was not some bored hacker in their parents' basement. You just know this required an incredible amount of planning and resources. I mean, somebody had to print these clues, laminate them, and then physically go and place them in all these spots. This was a serious, boots-on-the-ground operation. So, the million-dollar question, who was behind all this? You know, on one hand, it has all the hallmarks of a recruitment tool for a big intelligence agency, right? Like the NSA or GCHQ. But here's the twist. The actual content of the puzzles, the ideas inside them, pointed in the complete opposite direction. The texts, the philosophies, they were all about individual freedom, privacy, anti-surveillance. These are ideas that are, well, pretty hostile to the very state agencies we're talking about. So what gives? And then in 2013, everything changed. The whole nature of the challenge just shifted. Cicada 3301 released something new, and it wasn't another puzzle. It was a philosophical text, and it would change the entire meaning of this whole project. It was called Liber Primus. That's Latin for the first book, and it was 74 pages long, written entirely in this strange runic script. And get this, To this day, only a tiny handful of those pages have ever been successfully decoded. The rest remains a total mystery. And the few parts we have managed to translate, well, they show that big shift I was talking about. These aren't instructions. They aren't clues for the next step. They're pages from a philosophical manifesto. The book talks about the self, about the corruption of institutions, about the very nature of intelligence. This wasn't a game to be won anymore. This was a philosophy to be understood. Which, it raises a huge question. It challenges everything we thought we knew. I mean, think about it. If this was just recruitment, why release a manifesto? Recruitment tools are practical things, right? They test your skills. They don't usually come with required reading on some deep esoteric philosophy. This made it clear it wasn't just about what you could do. It was about what you believed. So what was really going on here? And this leads us to a whole new theory. What if they weren't just testing for raw intelligence? What if they were testing for something else entirely? Maybe the real goal wasn't just to find people who could solve hard puzzles. Maybe, just maybe, the true test was to find those people who are driven by this insatiable, almost obsessive need to know. The kind of people who would keep digging and searching even when there was no clear prize, no reward waiting at the end. Which brings us full circle, right? Right back to the most unsettling, the most chilling part of this whole story. The fate of the people who actually won, the ones who passed the test. What happened to them? Seriously, just let this sink in for a second. Not one single person who completed the full challenge has ever spoken publicly about what happened next. I mean, we're talking across 3 years, 3 separate recruitment cycles. A small group of people made it all the way. They were contacted privately. And then, complete and total radio silence. Not one of them has ever come forward to say, here's what I found. So naturally, the theories are all over the map. What happened? Did they just sign some ironclad NDAs? Or did they join some kind of secret society where talking about it would be, well, genuinely dangerous? There's another theory too, a more philosophical one, that maybe what they learned or what they experienced changed them so profoundly that their old life, posting stuff online, it just didn't matter anymore. It became totally irrelevant. So where does that leave us today? Well, we're left with almost a decade of silence, a completely mysterious organization, and a challenge that is, in a very real way, still active. Yeah, the last time we heard anything official from Cicada 3301 was way back in 2016. Since then, crickets. Nothing. The group behind it all has either just disbanded, gone completely underground, or maybe they've already finished whatever it was they set out to do. And yet, that book, the Liber Primus, it's still out there. Those unsolved runic pages are still online, just waiting. The test is still active, waiting for anyone with the right skills, and maybe more importantly, the right obsession to finally crack it. And this, I think, brings us to the final and most crucial way to look at this whole thing. Maybe, just maybe, we've all been asking the wrong question this whole time. Maybe asking who made Cicada 3301 was never the point. The real question, the one that should keep you up at night, is this. What was the purpose? Why find these incredibly unique minds? What kind of project were they being recruited for? What were they building? And the most haunting question of all, after all these years of silence, is it already finished?
What do you think about it? Let us know. And subscribe for more unsolved mystery.